Welcome back. Our volunteers from USO Metro's Turkeys for Troops program are here making it easy to say thank you to local troops and their families this holiday season. All you have to do is give this number a call. It's 202-895-5560 right now, and you can show your support. And speaking of support, according to a recent RAND study, there are approximately 5.6 million caregivers in the U.S., and 20% of those are caring for someone who served in the military after 9/11. So today, we're learning about a book to support those caregivers called Wounded Warrior, Wounded Wife, not just surviving, but thriving, with author Barbara McNally. Welcome.
Thank you, Megan, for having me on.
Well, Barbara, you have been a therapist for so many years, and you have been helping to get people, back on their feet. You're talking about in this book some of the stories that people don't like to talk about all of the time. So take us back to the day when you decided to write this book.
Well, the impetus for writing the book was I was driving across the Coronado Bridge and I saw a man jump to his death. And I thought of his wife and his family, and I did a little digging and found out he was a wounded warrior who felt like he didn't have any other options. And working with wounded warriors and their wives, I wanted to give them hope and tools and resources. So that was the impetus for writing the book.
That must have just taken your breath away, and we're so grateful that you were able to put your words into writing. He's not the only one. The statistics are high for suicide, right?
Right, it's 22 a day, and I wanted to turn his horrific death into something positive. And everybody heals differently and individually, so these are stories that everyone can relate to. And who knows the wounded warrior better than his wife or his mom? Right. And she'll know what tool might help him. And by reading the book, she'll figure out, like, oh, this is a great idea, this he'll love, and just giving them a reason to live and a reason to go on after war.
That's something that's big, and you talk about it a lot in the book. It's not just about spreading awareness on social media. It's about giving them different examples and reasons to keep moving forward, right? What are some of them that are in the book?
Well, one is Project Healing Waters, fly fishing. I like to think we're all on a hero's journey and crossing that bridge, and we either get the resources and the tools we need to heal, or we jump off. So we need somebody to give us those resources and tools. One of those is Project Healing Waters. Others, it may be music, like we just had on. Somebody else, it might be hiking, horseback riding. There's so many great tools and resources out there to help our wounded warriors that I wanted the caregivers to know about them so that their whole family could heal.
They can get out of their heads, kind of.
Right, out of the isolation and the depression.
Well, you had brought up, of course, the caregivers, the wives, and in some cases, of course, the husbands. And so, I mean, you bring up a good point, the fact that it's nice to say thank you, of course, to our military and maybe buy them a cup of coffee, but maybe do it for the women or again, the spouses, right?
Well, sometimes when we see someone in a wheelchair or, a double amputee, we don't know what to do and we don't know what to say. And thank you for your service is great. And maybe the woman behind pushing him in the wheelchair, you could say, and thank you for your service too, because the caregiver is really our hidden hero. She is the one behind when the medals are done being given out, when the parades have ended, they've been discharged from the military. It's the caregiver, his wife, who is caring for him. And these are women in their 20s. As you said, post 9/11, all these women have three distinct characteristics. They're younger than 30. They're most likely employed, so that means they're working at home, they're working at work, and they're all without a support group because we move around so much more. So I want to offer that support group for these women.
We all need support too. So I think that even if they're not the women that you're talking about now, someone like me who's not in that situation, I think I could really benefit from reading their stories too. Gives everything in a different perspective. So,
yeah, and we want to say happy Veterans Day, and thank you to our veterans, and thank you to those caring for our veterans.
Thanks so much for coming in and telling your story.